Welcome to Clarity and Strategy, the first course in the Bulletproof pitch curriculum. There are 7 modules in this course. Let's start with the investor's lens. Before we get into decks, financials, or investor lists, we need to get one thing straight, because if you miss this, everything else you build in your fundraising process will sit on the wrong foundation. Most founders believe they're pitching a business idea. They spend weeks crafting the problem statement, perfecting the market size, polishing the product description, and then they cannot understand why the investors are not biting. Here's what is actually happening in that room. Investors at the pre-seed and seed stage are not evaluating your idea. They have seen thousands of ideas. Most ideas are not the problem. What they're running is a conviction test, a test of you. Specifically, do you have the conviction, the resourcefulness, and the early evidence to suggest you can execute this regardless of how the idea evolves? Because here is a reality of early stage investing. The idea will change, the market will shift, the product will pivot. The one constant in that equation is you. Investors did not arrive at this belief theoretically. Their own portfolios proved it. Airbnb let people rent their couches to strangers. Uber was once a button that called a car. YouTube let people upload videos. None of those sound like paradigm shifting companies. The execution made them that. This is not an idea test. This is a conviction test. And the question is, can you execute? Take a company building a biodegradable packaging material that is 25% stronger and 10% cheaper than plastic. 2 versions of that same company walk into an investor meeting. The first version has a beautiful deck. The material science is impressive. They published a white paper. The TAM slide shows a $400 billion global packaging market. When the investor asks what they've done in the last 90 days to validate demand, the founder says, "We've been refining the formulation." The second version has a rougher deck, but a different story. In the last 90 days, they ran pilot tests with 12 retailers. Everyone agreed to deploy. They negotiated a supply agreement with a regional manufacturer. They collected performance data showing the material holds up under temperature stress that conventional alternatives cannot handle. They can tell you exactly which assumptions they validated, which ones broke, and what they changed because of it. Who gets the check? Almost always the second founder. Not because the material is better, because the investor has evidence that this person moves. They did not wait for capital before proving the thesis. That is the behavior early stage investors are betting on. So what are investors actually looking at? Let me break it down. At pre-seed, investors are primarily evaluating 3 things. The first is founder market fit. Not just whether you understand the market, but whether you are the right person to build this. Do you have the domain expertise, a unique insight, a proprietary network, or a lived experience that gives you an edge someone else cannot replicate? If another founder could build this just as easily, that is a problem worth solving before you walk into any room. The second is the quality of your insight. What do you see that others do not? The best early stage companies are built on a non-obvious belief about how the world is changing, or how an existing market is being underserved in a way that is invisible to others. Investors want access to a perspective, not just a product. The third is execution signals. What have you done with no money, no team, and no infrastructure? This is where most founders underestimate how much signal they are either generating or failing to generate. Even small proof points carry weight at this stage. A wait list of 500 people, a signed letter of intent, a prototype built over a weekend that got 10 people to say they would pay for it. As the startup progresses from pre-seed to Series A, new investors come in. They're still betting on you, but the bar shifts at each stage. By seed, they also want to see early validation, real users, real revenue, or at minimum, compelling evidence of demand. The narrative needs to show not just that you can start, but that you know how to scale what you have started. By Series A, validation is the floor, not the question. They want repeatable acquisition, retention that holds, and unit economics that prove the model works at the size you are now. The narrative needs to show not just that you have proven something, but that what you have proven scales. Before you write a single slide, you need to be able to answer three questions honestly. One, why am I the right person to build this? Not the most passionate, not the most excited, the most capable and positioned. Two, what have I already done to prove this is real? What assumptions have I tested? What did I learn? And what did I change because of it? Three, what is the one thing I'm asking an investor to believe about the future? Not 10 things, one clear, testable thesis. Module 2 builds the answer to the first question, founder market fit. Why you? Specifically, and not the next founder who walks through the door with a similar deck. Module 3 builds the answer to the second, validation and traction. How to inventory what you've already proven and frame it the way investors actually weigh it. Module 4 builds the answer to the third, the investment thesis, the single testable belief at the center of your pitch. Modules 5, 6, and 7 then frame the market, stress test what you have built, and assemble the whole thing into a narrative outline that becomes the foundation of every slide in your deck. The goal of this course is not a pitch deck. It is the clarity that makes your pitch deck impossible to ignore. So let's build it.